Lost Art of Fishing Stories, written by Andrew Cox. Get your copy today. Go to Amazon and search The Lost Art of Fishing Stories. The Lost Art Project, Veteran Voices with Andrew Cox. Preserving history, one veteran story at a time. Marine Corps League and Till Valhalla Project Ambassadors. Thanks for tuning in to the podcast that's given a voice to our veterans. The Lost Art Project, Veteran Voices with Andrew Cox. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Lost Art Project, Veteran Voices. Today, we're going to have a great veteran story for you. But before we get into the episode, are you enjoying the podcast? And make sure you go to the website. That's thelostart.podbean.com. Go check us out, see what we're all about. There's a couple ways you can support us. You can go to that website, click on the one-time donation link, or you can become a patron with a monthly donation. And you can also go get you some cool merchandise, or if you have a business or you want to advertise something, you can advertise right here on the podcast. A big shout out to the Till Valhalla Project out there doing amazing things. If you don't know anything about them, go check them out. Even if you do, go back and check them out. You can always find them at tillvalhallaproject.com. Are you a Marine veteran? Are you missing that bond you had on active duty? Then I have a place for you. Join the only congressionally chartered Marine Corps Veteran Service Organization, the Marine Corps League. Get that brother and sisterhood back in your life. Become one of the fewer, the prouder, a Marine Corps League member. All right, we're back here. I got my special guest. This is First Sergeant Todd Messina. How you doing?
I'm doing outstanding.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to have you on here. Get to hear your story. So this is going to be a good time.
Yeah, it's probably the only time I actually tell my story because I'm normally quiet about what goes on in the Marine Corps life, you know?
Yeah. Well, you got to document them at some point in time. So thanks for coming on and doing this. This is going to be awesome.
All right. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's start at the beginning for you. Where did you grow up? What was that like? And then what drew you to military service?
Well, I grew up in Park Forest, an area in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Went to Catholic school all my life. I went from St. Alphonsus Elementary to Redemptorist. Of course, Redemptorist is no longer there. The diocese shut it down. So I feel like I lost my school.
That makes sense, yeah.
Well, it was there that I decided to join the Corps. My older brother and two of his friends decided to join. I'd never really even heard of the Marine Corps. I used to watch a lot of military movies, John Wayne, The Dirty Dozen.
Yeah.
But it never clicked to me what the Marines were. And when they came back, I decided college could wait, and I had to do what they did.
Yeah. I like it.
So I was only 17 years old when I graduated high school, and I guess my mom had to sign for me to get my medical done, and she was like all in 2 years, but she decided to sign for me, which is good. And before you know it, I was off to boot camp.
Yeah. Now, what year was it that you signed up?
I signed up in February, but I was in the delayed entry program till October 12th, 1983. That's the day I went to boot camp. You don't forget the day you went.
Yeah. Well, tell us about the day that you went. You had a little bit of time. So did you prep and getting ready for boot camp, or did you just cold turkey? I'm just going to go.
No, they had the delayed entry program, but I did a lot. I hung around my brother and his friends. They were in the reserve here. So I learned how to take apart the M16 and put it back together blindfolded in 45 seconds.
Wow. That was all before you went.
What's that?
That was before you went.
before I went. I learned
Yeah.
everything they knew when they came out before I went. So I thought I was going to skate through boot camp.
Yeah. Yeah. You would think, right?
Well, little did I know the drill instructors, we used to have to put family members on our application. They don't do that now, but back then you had to put them, and somebody recognized my brother's name.
Oh no.
So he was a Marine, so they called me out, acting like I thought I knew it all and I was going to skate through boot camp.
Yeah.
So they end up making me, they said, a thrashing private, which
Oh,
thrash
nice.
means they make you bends and thrusts, mountain climb, push ups, whatever.
Yeah.
And they created teams. They had an A team, a B team, a C, and a D. And they said,
Okay.
"You know what team you're on, Messina?" And I said, "Well, I'm on the fourth squad. I'm probably D team." Nope. A team? He says, "Nope. Try A, B, C, and D."
Oh, jeez.
There were times when they'd be thrashing me. They said, "Oh, it looks like Messina still got some energy in him. Let's bring A team back out there again." And they get mad at me.
Very nice. So they blamed everything on you then.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what it was. They were trying to work as a team, and they got to tear
Mhm.
you down as individuals.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. And now, you remember like all your drill instructors and everything?
Yes, I do very
Yeah.
much. In fact, funny story. We had a guy, Sergeant Brannick.
Uh-huh.
They had Private LeBlanc, Craig LeBlanc, I think it was. He
Okay.
was a football player that gained some weight after football, and he decided he wanted to lose weight. He ended up losing like 50 pounds in boot camp.
Wow.
But he would volunteer to thrash. He would be out there saying, "Oh, the recruit thinks the drill instructor's a nice guy. And you're going to pay Landry." It was Landry. "You're going to pay Landry." And I'm sitting there going, "Yeah, he's paying. I got to go pay with him." So
Yeah.
every night we would take a shower, and then you'd have to stand in front of the drill instructors, hold your hands out, and say,
Yeah.
"I have no medical problems at this time. The private has no medical problems at this time." And,
Uh-huh.
make sure your hands are clean and your nails are clean.
Right.
Well, every night Landry would laugh and get himself in trouble, and we'd be back in the front of the quad bay thrashing before we go to bed.
Oh,
I said,
jeez.
"Landry, can I just once go to bed without being sweaty and smelly?" He says, "I
Yeah.
can't help it." He says, "Sergeant Brannick looks like Eddie Murphy." I said, "No, he doesn't." And today I could show you a picture of Sonic Brannick. He does not look like Eddie Murphy. But that next moment, when Sergeant Brannick stood in front of me, I saw Eddie Murphy and I started laughing. And he's
Oh
like,
no.
"What in the world's wrong with you, Messina? You got what Landry's got?" So it was fun.
Yeah. Well, they do say, you can get strong in boot camp, so I'm sure you got strong.
I started off, I was 125 pounds
Wow.
and I had a 29-inch waist.
Okay.
I needed, actually, I was 5'11, but at 5'11, you have to be 127. At
Oh,
5'10,
wow.
you have to be 123.
Yeah.
So all the fat people are trying to get taller and they're looking for that. But they
Yeah.
weren't looking for the skinny guy to try to shrink and look a little shorter, because I didn't want to be put on double rations and have to eat double the food and
Yeah.
just kill me. Because it's hard
Yeah.
when you got too much food in your body trying to exercise and other stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, that's very true. It can definitely weigh you down.
Well, there were a lot of things they didn't know back then. They used to give us salt tablets to take because we were sweating a lot. What they
Yeah.
don't realize is that the salt tablets, the more you took, it can clog your pores and you can drown on your own sweat. And
Whoa.
it wasn't
No
until
kid.
later they found out how that was affecting a lot of Marines, and then they had to
Mhm.
take them off that.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. I didn't even know that.
A lot of people don't. They try to keep it quiet, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. 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 I suppose so. Now, were there any other aspects of boot camp that kind of stood out to you?
Uh, there was, I'm trying to think. I know we had times where, like, we were up in the field in the mountains. I was
Hmm.
there during late October, November, December.
Okay.
It was I know the Marines got to graduate early for the Marine Corps birthday on November 10th. The Marines got to graduate early on Thanksgiving, but for
Okay.
Christmas, we didn't get to graduate early. Our colonel wanted to make sure we stayed. So I
Oh,
graduated on December 29th and had to spend
oh,
Christmas in boot camp.
I bet that was fun.
Little instructors had us hang up our green socks and they put stuff in them. Now, our senior gave us a peppermint. So, of course, we ate the peppermint.
Yeah.
But the junior drill instructors gave us like 10,000 push ups, 20,000 sit ups. And you had all Sunday morning, that Christmas day, to
Yeah.
enjoy your Christmas present from the juniors.
Oh my gosh. Very nice. That's pretty smart.
So, I mean, they used to play games on you where, like, if you leave your wall locker open, they would
Hmm.
take all the metal lockers, combination lockers, and they'd lock them all together. Then they'd
Oh,
throw them in
right.
the middle of the classroom, and you'd have to unlock them all in a certain period of time. Well,
Right.
we would have
Yeah.
to mark our locks somehow. You don't want to put a
Hmm.
number on the back. What I used to do is I colored in the master from the master lock,
Hmm.
so they couldn't clean out the inside of my lock. And that way I could
Mm.
always find mine.
Yeah. That's pretty smart. Yeah. That's good. So you were able to get to yours fairly quick, and then everybody
Right.
else had to struggle.
I remember one time we woke up early and we all got dressed early. And when the
Hmm.
drill instructors woke us up at Reveille, we all jumped over a rack all dressed. And he didn't like that.
Yeah.
So he made us get undressed and try it all over again.
Now that sounds like a good drill instructor there.
Like I said, you can't outsmart the drill instructors. They've seen it before.
That's true. Yeah. Good point. So you graduated December 29, and then now did you know what MOS you were going to have going in?
Well, originally I was going to be an air traffic controller,
Okay.
but then they found that I had a slight color vision. I can
Mm,
tell colors, but you know the numbers you have inside those colors. You're supposed to tell all the numbers.
right. Yeah.
I can only see one of them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they decided I'd be too dangerous being an air traffic controller.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
So they ended up putting me in supply administration,
Okay.
which was fine because I really just wanted to be a Marine.
Hmm. Very nice. And so you went to combat training there at
No, no, no. Combat training it was all boot camp. We had a long 12-week
okay.
boot camp. We didn't have combat training. That came later. So
Okay.
it was
I got
all
you.
part of all one thing at that time.
Okay. That makes sense. All right.
So they started to separate things where you come home from boot camp and you go back to combat training, then you
Right.
go to the school. When we came back from boot camp, we went straight to our school.
Okay. So, and where was your school located?
Camp Johnson, North
Okay.
Carolina, which is part of Camp Lejeune.
Yeah. 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 And how long is that school?
Oh, I want to say it was right around 2 months, like 8 or 9 weeks.
Okay. All right.
So
And
I
then,
remember the base. The base was old.
yeah,
It's the old base that the Black Marines used to be
the
at.
Mockburn Point
The mock,
Marines.
yeah, that was the
Hmm.
base. I didn't
Okay.
know that until 10 years ago.
Oh,
So,
really? Wow.
yeah, but they had pipes on poles that had like steam going through it. And
Right.
when it was a cold day, if there was a leak, I mean, it would pretty much fill up that area and you couldn't see. I mean,
Right.
it was interesting. I do remember an incident, which I can tell now. We were getting close to graduating from school.
Uh-huh.
And I was putting edge dressing around my dress shoes.
Okay.
Well, some guy knocked my bottle over.
Oh, no.
And I tried to clean it up and it wouldn't clean up. So I
Yeah.
tried to use laundry detergent and I scrubbed
Uh-huh.
it really good. And it cleaned it, but it ate into the tile.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh no, I'm not graduating. We're not. So me and my guy that did that, we decided to move the wall locker over to cover up the hole.
Okay.
Then we had to move the rack over for the next person. Then we had to move his wall locker, his rack, his wall locker, his rack. We
You had to
moved the
move
whole
everything.
barracks to cover up that one hole. so I could graduate the next
Wow.
day and get out of there.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's pretty wild.
I'm
That
sure they
edge
eventually
dressing.
found the tile messed up, but not while I was there.
That's right. Yeah, that edge dressing is no joke. If you get that on the wrong thing, good luck getting it
It,
out.
it's ink. It's near to impossible to get out.
Yeah, absolutely. Holy cow. So, so you finished up your schooling there. Did you now? Where did you end up going? East Coast, West Coast?
I went as far west as you can go. I went to Okinawa, Japan.
Ah, nice. Okay, very nice.
So,
So, was this your first time traveling overseas?
oh yes, yes. My mom and dad tried to give us trips every year.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Sometimes, like we got to go to California before, but most of the
Mm-hmm.
time it was like we went to Houston, about 4 hours
Right.
away, and we'd go to Astroworld. We didn't
Right.
always have a good vacation because Dad couldn't always afford it. He
Mm-hmm.
put three of us in private school together, three of us through braces. It was
Mm-hmm.
just, it was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And then, so your trip flying over and everything, what did you think about that whole experience, flying all the way to Okinawa?
Well, the first time I flew was actually going to boot camp. So
Oh,
I
okay.
was loving flying, something
Okay.
that I just never did. Now, of course, that flight was like 26 hours.
Yeah, it's
So
ridiculous.
it is. But I had a breakfast on that plane. It was the Flying Tigers. And
Okay.
they took a sausage with some apple and rolled it up with a pancake.
Uh-huh.
It was by far the best breakfast ever. So the whole time I'm there in Iraq, I mean in Okinawa, I'm thinking about looking forward to that breakfast. And when I got back
Yeah.
on the plane to come back, of course they gave me a lunch. So
Uh,
I didn't even get the good meal that I wanted.
oh man, that's great. Now, who did you end up going to in Okinawa? What unit?
I was with the headquarters battalion.
Okay.
So MWHS 2. No, no, that was Cherry Point. Hold on. That was with the 3rd Marine Air Wing. I was with the 3rd Marine Air Wing, and that was at
Okay.
Camp Courtney. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
Most people didn't know Camp Courtney. If I got a cab, I had to tell them the base on the hill.
Mm,
And that hill
okay.
was trouble because when we ran a physical fitness test, we had to
Hmm.
run out the gate, down the hill, and then when you came back on that last mile, you're running back up the hill to come back
Oh,
into the gate. And man, that was tough.
no kidding. You really had to haul butt on that first half. Make up for
Yeah,
some of
yeah.
that second half.
You got a good first mile, but that last mile made up for it.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Holy cow. Now, what all do you remember about your time in Okinawa? What were some of the highlights and the good and bad times, I should say?
Well, I've never hunted. I've never fired a weapon before in my life.
Hmm.
So when I was in boot camp, I wore contacts. In ninth grade,
Hmm.
I had found out I had to get glasses,
Hmm.
and I went straight to contacts at that time. So my
Okay.
glasses were 4 years behind. So when I went to boot camp, I had to wear my glasses and not my contacts. Well,
Oh, right.
my glass prescription never came in.
Mm.
So I got to shoot Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but not pre-qual and qual day. So I
Okay.
wasn't sure if I could shoot.
Hmm.
So because I would count, I was a 12 target, and I'd count, and I'd
Hmm.
say, okay. And I close one eye, and I close one eye, and I come down, boom, I'd shoot. And then they'd
Hmm.
see what I had. Then I count 12 targets, and I look, and I try again. Well, I
Yeah.
shot a 218 day one, a 222 day two, and a 231 day three.
Oh, wow.
The drill instructors fought to get me to shoot. And they said,
Uh-huh.
we can't have him shoot. He's a hazard on the range. He said, he's shooting better than the people that can see. So pre-qual and qual day, I didn't get to. I stayed in the butts and pulled targets. I didn't get to
No
shoot.
kidding.
So I'm like, I
Wow.
don't really know if I can shoot. So when I went to Okinawa, Japan, I got to
Uh-huh.
shoot, and I
Okay.
made expert.
Nice.
So the CO came and said, "Look, I'd like to send you for the Far East Division matches."
Oh, very cool.
So I got to go shoot at the matches. I got expert with rifle and pistol at that time. I,
Nice.
I I just missed it with the rifle, getting the medal, special medals,
The
not the
distinguished
shooting badges,
distinguished
but the
medals or
special
whatever.
medals. And I just missed the pistol. The pistol was harder because
Hmm.
we had it started getting dark, so they put the Humvees downrange and turned the lights on.
Oh wow.
And when you're trying to shoot 50 yards with a 45 caliber pistol that has a maximum effective range of 50 yards, and you're
Yeah,
shooting with just one hand, not two,
that's
and it's
right.
hard to see the target, it just, so I didn't make it
Yeah,
for that. Now, of course, when I had to qualify with the pistol, they said you can use two hands now. And
yeah.
it was so easy at that time. So I qualified rifle and pistol from then on, expert every time.
Nice. Yeah, 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 as it should be. That's good.
But I did qualify to be an 8571. I think that's the number correct. 8531, 8571. It's a marksmanship instructor.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay. They wanted to send me to Paris Island or San Diego
Hmm.
to train recruits, but I was thinking if I go there, my rank's going to hold up and I want to get promoted and move up. So I
Right.
decided just to go to my new duty station.
Okay. And where was that?
I ended up getting orders to go into Cherry Point, North Carolina.
Okay.
Now, I had a friend of mine going to New Orleans.
Hmm.
So I put down to go to New Orleans
Hmm.
and I wanted to go there. But they gave me Cherry Point. So I
Hmm.
got upset. I put in a request to change the duty station.
Hmm.
Sergeant Major calls me in. He says, "What in the world are you doing?" I says, "Well, I want to go to New Orleans. They got me going to Cherry Point Air Station." He said, "Do you know how many people beg to go to the air station?" No, I don't. He said, "A lot of people." Well, I don't know anything about it. He said, "You don't know until you get there. You're going to
Yeah.
enjoy it." I said, "All right, I'll go. That's good. That's what I want to hear. You're going." I
And
remember
what
when
did
you
you?
originally get to base in
Uh,
Okinawa, you're supposed to leave 1 year, exactly one
hmm.
year from the time you get there,
Right.
but your orders will come in and let you know. Well,
Hmm.
my orders never came. So I had a sergeant there and he was like, "When are you leaving, Messina?" I says, "One day you're just not going to see me. And that's when you know I'm gone." Because I didn't want to tell him and then him start messing with me before I leave.
Yeah.
So I just said, well, but see, I really didn't know myself.
Yeah.
So what could I tell him?
There wasn't much to tell him.
It was it was April 5th is the day I got there. So April 5th is when I'm leaving, as far as I
Yeah.
knew. So I do remember
Wow.
one day I put my stuff in storage to have it
Hmm.
shipped to where I'm going. And I was hiding in the barracks. I didn't want to go
Hmm.
back to work because we had one more hour of work. And that
Hmm.
sergeant started coming in. And I jumped in to my friend. He was a cook, the one going to New Orleans. He is a We had an open squad bay, but we had wall lockers with a rod and a curtain for doors.
All right. Yeah.
So I jumped into his little cubicle and he called my name because he saw me. So I came back out. I said, "Yes, sir. What do you want?" So I thought he was going to tell me, "Get your butt back to work." And he says, "No." He said, "You start checking out. You leave in 1 week. You start checking out tomorrow. So don't come to work. Go to admin and get your checkout papers." I was like, "Oh, even better."
Very nice. So you were able to take that next week and just check out and
Yes,
get
yes.
ready to
So
go.
it made it pretty easy. I
Yeah.
remember one time I was there. The big thing in Okinawa was getting electronics.
Mm.
So I had saved up my paycheck,
Hmm.
saved up several paychecks because I was going to get a TV and a VCR.
Oh yeah.
And oh yeah, and I was going to go get them. And I was so happy I was singing. Now I can't sing. I'm lousy at singing. But somebody
Okay.
came by and understand. Uh, uh, he says, "What did you do with the money?" Now I had all that money that I cashed. I didn't know what hundreds were, so I had about $500 in 20s rolled up in my pocket.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What money?" He said, "The money your mom gave you for singing lessons." I took that wad of money and pulled it out. I said, "I kept it."
Nice.
So I got
That's
him
good.
back when he was trying to get me.
Yeah, That's pretty good. I like it. And then
So
now,
now I
now,
remember you when you talked about to me about Okinawa. That was the first time I went overseas.
uh-huh.
But another time I ended up going to Korea while I was
Okay.
there.
Oh, okay.
And I remember me and my friend, understand, I had a drinking problem. I started drinking at 15, uh,
Uh-huh.
Jack Daniels and moonshine.
Woo.
I'd go to a football game, drink half a Coke, walk out. My friend would pour Bacardi in my drink, and then we'd walk
Yeah.
back in.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize how much of I had a problem until later in my life,
Mm-hmm.
but I enjoyed drinking. And so we went there to get uh, a flight A to
Mm-hmm.
Korea, which is a free flight.
Right.
And it's a space A availability. So they said,
Mm-hmm.
look, we got a spot for one, but not for two.
Right.
So my friend Fargon, who was going with me, said, look, you go to Korea and I'll get the flight tomorrow and come back and find you.
Okay.
I says, Korea, that's a country. That's not like a city. I says, why don't we just go to the package store, get some beer, come back to my apartment, and we'll head back the next morning. We both get on the same flight.
Yeah.
He said, that sounds good. So I drank some Mickey's Big Mouth. I remember
Okay.
I drank a whole case that night. We never went to sleep. So we
Oh,
left
man.
to go down there. We were still drunk.
Yeah.
They got a flight and it was going to Pohang instead of
Okay.
Osan Air Base. I
Mm-hmm.
knew Osan Air Base had every day a flight coming back to Okinawa,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know about Pohang.
Mm-hmm.
So when we get there, we're looking around and we saw a bus with a bunch of Koreans on it going to Osan.
Okay.
So these two Americans snuck on the bus, got to the back of the bus and sat down and sunk our heads and tried to blend in. And all these
Uh-huh.
Okinawans, I mean, these Koreans are talking to us and saying, in Korean, I don't know what they were saying, but I know they're saying, what are these Americans doing on our bus? They didn't pay.
Yeah.
So we rode that up to Osan Air Base.
Oh, God.
When we got there, it was around noon. So
Uh-huh.
we found a hotel. It was called the Cloverleaf.
Okay.
And then we actually found a bar open at 12 o'clock. So that was
Oh,
our
wow.
next job. We got to get drunk again.
Yeah.
So I was drinking something called OB beer.
Okay.
OB beer, you could drink 6 of them and not feel anything, or you can drink 3 of them and then you feel something.
So it just
Because,
depended.
well, our beer in America is alcohol created and they check everything and it's got to have
Yeah.
each bottle has a certain alcohol level. Well, there you
Right.
didn't know if you got the top of the barrel or the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at that time it was not how do you say controlled
Right.
as well as
Yeah.
it would be
Wasn't
today,
regulated. Yeah.
because that was 1984.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I remember coming out and we found, luckily enough, Shore Patrol, which is the Air Force people that were police.
Okay.
So one guy took up to us and he said, look, I'm going to make sure I take care of you and introduce us to the other police there. These are Marines. They're the only ones here. Make sure you take care of them and don't let them get in trouble. So we come out and it's like I said, okay, where is the base? He says, it's to your right. Fargon goes, then the hotel's to the left here. I said, no, it's straight ahead. And he said, no, it's this way. Let me show you. So we had already forgot where the hotel was. If it wasn't for
Very
that
nice.
SP, we would have, luggage was in the room. We'd have been lost sleeping on the streets.
Yeah. Holy
So,
cow.
so
Well,
that
it's a
was
good thing.
interesting.
Yeah, it's a good thing you ran into him then.
Yes, it was. So I had some good luck with bad luck, but like I said, it always came out in the end.
Yeah.
I remember we ran out of money. We had ended up finding or meeting some girl in Japan because our flight for Korea went to mainland Japan before going to Okinawa. And she
Okay.
was there with her family. And she said, I can't believe these guys are 18 and they're off on their own. And I'm 18 with my family, but I
Yeah.
needed money. We needed money for food.
Uh-huh.
We were broke. We spent all our money in Korea.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I mean, doing stupid stuff. We played video games, didn't know the rules, but it was basically with the won ratio to the dollar. It
Uh-huh.
was 6 cents to play a video game.
Oh,
So
wow.
it didn't matter if I knew how to play it. I had enough won to have fun.
Yeah.
But we ended up running out of money and we were hungry. So she loaned us some money.
Okay.
And when I got back to Japan, got my paycheck, I sent the money back to her.
Oh,
So it
nice.
was
Okay.
nice that she did that, She asked her
Mhm.
dad, and all that. So,
Now
we
was
were trustworthy, but she didn't know us. So I'm
yeah.
glad she did that out of the kindness of her heart.
Now was she military family?
No, no, she wasn't.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah,
But she
that's
was
really
with her
awesome that you were able
father.
to.
She was with her family going to, they went to Japan.
I got you. Okay. Wow. Well, man, you had some really good luck then.
Yeah, yeah. With the bad luck, I had good luck. So,
Yeah.
uh, Japan is where I learned to surf.
No kidding.
Fargon was a surfer from California.
Uh-huh.
I didn't actually stand up on the board, but I kneeled on the board. I just couldn't get up on the board like he did.
Yeah.
And I was scared because Okinawa was surrounded by dead coral reef.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but
if
I
you
do
fall there,
remember
it could be
one
bad.
time I was trying to come back, swim back in, and the guy, Fargon had a friend up there, and his wife was watching us.
Hmm.
And I went to go give him his. Hold on a second. I need a cough drop.
Yeah, no problem.
So his friend wife was watching us, and
Hmm.
the tide started coming in.
Oh,
So
okay.
as I was trying to swim in, gave him his surfboard, the water started pushing me toward the rocks, and
Oh,
it started
geez.
slamming me against the rocks. And
Oh,
she
man.
said she came real close to diving in. Now understand, I was also a lifeguard before I joined the Marine Corps.
Okay.
I was on a swim team for about 10 years.
Hmm.
Uh, I could swim. I only
Hmm.
got second class swim qual because they said I didn't get a chance to become first class or WSQ, which water safety qualified,
Right.
uh, because they said I swam the strokes too fast.
Oh, right.
But what it was is only a few people were allowed to go for first qual and WSQ, so the rest of them had to move as a mob.
Hmm. Yeah.
So it
You
was
got
no
to get
big
it
deal
the
to me. And
max
that's the
max
only
amount of
time you
people
swim
through.
qual is boot camp.
Hmm.
So I did eventually get to where I could climb up. And she's like, man, I was going to jump in to save you. I was like, if I couldn't swim it, you could. I would have had to save you. I said,
Yeah.
I'm very qualified to get on my own. I just had to push back from the rocks, get under the water, swim a good
Hmm.
distance away, and then come back in closer to where the beach was instead of where the rocks were.
Right.
But
Man,
it's a
and
little
that's
hard
no
to
joke
think
out there.
straight while you're slamming into the rocks.
Hmm. Very true. Man. Well,
That's
you
another
got
time I was saved.
yeah, I was gonna say another lucky time. Man, you got all kinds of luck out there.
Well, God was watching over me, even
Hmm.
though I wasn't ready for God.
Hmm.
I originally, before I went to boot camp, had gone to the steps of the state capitol.
Hmm.
We were all doing a walk for life, protesting abortion.
Hmm.
Catholics are strong against abortion. I've always been against abortion because it's
Hmm.
murder. Whether you call it a
Right.
fetus or whatever, it's murder.
Hmm.
And a woman can choose to have sex or not, but she shouldn't have the choice to kill a baby.
Right.
So I was out there trying to walk with them.
Hmm.
Well, there was a pastor up there. This was in 1983, and the pastor was Brother Larry Stockstill from Bethany Church. Well,
Okay.
I was a Catholic at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw him, listened to him, but I left for boot camp anyway. And was still doing my own stuff, still doing my
Mm-hmm.
drinking, still doing
Yeah.
my partying. I remember an episode where I was getting put on mess duty and Fargon was coming off mess duty.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Sturgis. He's the one that started me drinking in the morning because he scared me to death. But
Yeah.
he was a heavy drinker. And
Okay.
he got me, he got an Okinawan license. So we went to rent a car and go on town. So he said he would drive if we just got him a bottle of tequila and pay for his cokes for the night. So that's what we did. Well, finally he was getting tired. He said, look, I'm going to go sleep in the van.
Mm-hmm.
When y'all are ready, come wake me up and I'll drive you home. So me and Fargon put a few more drinks down and then we decided to walk back to the van. Well, we can't wake Sturgis up.
Oh, no.
So then we looked around. We found an empty bottle of tequila.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, oh, Lord, one of us has to drive. So I flipped the coin. I lost the coin. So Fargon says, I'm going to drive because you're too drunk. So as we made the first turn, we had a van with a sliding door. He hits a pole and the pole rip opens the door.
Oh, no.
So we're trying to shut the door when Sturgis wakes up. He says, get in the van. And somehow he shuts the door.
Okay.
So he tries to start the van won't start. So we start rolling downhill to see if we can start it that way without having to push it. Because me and Fargon were in no condition to push the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And we get down in the middle of a complex area and it still won't start. So Sturgis opens the hood and he starts cussing really loud.
Yeah.
All these lights start coming on with these Okinawans at their apartments.
Yeah.
And I'm like, film at 11. 3 Marines killed by angry Okinawan mob. This little boy, about 10 years old, came down speaking better English than us, said, you got car problems? We're like, yeah. You need a jump? Yeah. All right, they're going to get some jumper cables. Thank you. They jumped their car, got it started.
Nice.
And then we're like, we don't know how to get out of here. Follow them. They're going to lead you out of here. Thank you. Domo arigato.
Yeah.
So we got out of there. I told Fargon, he said, man, that door's going to cost a lot. I said, I'm with you. I'm going to help you out. Well, the next morning, Sturgis comes up, wants to know what happened to the van. We're like, didn't you see it? He don't remember any of it.
Oh, geez.
They got the door quoted. It was $580.
Ooh, that was a lot back then, too.
We only made $300 a month.
Yeah.
I said, Fargon goes, remember you said you were going to help me pay for this? I don't remember that. So it was interesting. I was like, I'm not paying for this door. I wasn't driving.
Yeah.
I don't remember this at all.
Oh my gosh. Oh man. Yeah, that sounds like some interesting times, huh?
I remember when I got to move out in town, I had a TV and VCR, and the guy that was going to move with me had it too. So Sturgis asked me if he could watch my TV. I said, yeah, you can, but if you damage it, even a scratch, you got to buy me a new one. He says, okay. Well, I wasn't in the barracks at the time where there was an episode where he got drunk again. His curtain had fallen down, and they said he was standing there in his cubicle naked. Somebody passed by, saw his curtain, and says, oh, look, these curtains are on the floor. I don't think they're anybody. I'll just take them. And Sturgis heard him. He said, turned with this devilish look, grabbed his stereo and threw it at the guy.
Yeah.
Then as the guy ran down the hall, he said he grabbed my TV and he threw my TV down the hall.
Oh no.
So I come into the barracks with all these parts in the middle of the hall, and Sturgis is in his rack, sound asleep. I had to put the story together, but I made him buy me a new TV. I kept it in a box and just sent the box back home.
Yeah, smart. Yeah. Wow.
So, yeah, that was very interesting. Sturgis had some drunk stories with him.
Yeah. Sounds like it. Holy cow. Now,
So
and you
then,
said, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, then I headed to Cherry Point, North Carolina.
Okay.
With there, I was at MWHS-2. I was in supply. The warehouse we were in was actually a condemned warehouse.
Okay.
Some colonel came by to look at the warehouse, and I was like, "What are you doing, sir?" He said, "I just wanted to look around." He said, "When I was a brand new lieutenant, this warehouse was condemned, and I just wanted to see it again because I'm at the end of my career. I'm retiring, and I see it still open." I said, "Yep, it's still open."
That sounds right. Oh, man.
So that over in Cherry Point was the first time I was going to be shooting at the range. Okinawa was weird. At 500 yards, the wind could be blowing to the right. At 300 yards, it could be blowing to the west, to the left.
Yeah.
And then at 200 yards, it could be blowing against you. And then right where you are at the zero range, it could have no wind at all.
Right.
This is going between mountains. So it was very hard to judge. One time your shot was perfect. The next time you had to rechange it.
Yeah.
So when I went to Cherry Point, no wind or a little wind, but it was all the same.
Right.
So I said, now's my chance to do really well. I actually shot a 248, which is 250 was a perfect score.
Yeah.
They claimed that one of my shots was a 3 that I claimed was a 5. I made them recheck it, but they said no, it was a 3. But while I was doing well, some guy told my coach, and he knew another guy that was doing well, this gunnery sergeant. I was just a Lance Corporal at the time, but this gunnery sergeant was doing really well too. So my coach and his coach were betting on us.
Oh,
and I was like, don't tell him this. I don't need pressure. I don't need this pressure. And it kept it started off as a beer, then it became 3 beers, then it became a 6-pack, then it was a 12-pack.
Oh, geez.
But I ended up beating that gunny.
Oh,
I found out we both were on shooting teams. But of course, I only shot once, whereas he had medals. But I beat him.
Wow. That's awesome.
So, it just let me know that I knew how to shoot.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And now, is that when you got to go to the coach's course while you were there?
No, I did that in Okinawa.
Oh, no.
So when I got to Cherry Point, they had the rifle team coming out too. So I wanted to apply for it. My captain wouldn't let me. He said, I'm going to let, there was this Mexican, he let him go. I said, but he's a marksman. He says, I know, but if whoever makes the team gets to tour with the team and we don't get to replace that person. So I'd rather send him because I know he's not going to make it, where if I send you and you make it, we're not going to have a worker.
Yeah.
I was like, but that's not fair. He says, welcome to the Marine Corps.
Oh, geez. Good times. Gotta love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I remember I had we had a club outside the base. So I'd always walk out the front gate because Wednesday night was all you can drink beer for $5. Wow.
Yeah.
I would drink my $5 worth and everybody else's. Sometimes I was too drunk to walk back. So I'd have to call a friend of mine. It was a new guy I just met. Now understand the guy I told you about in New Orleans. His name was Jim Smith.
Okay.
My friend in North Carolina at Cherry Point was Jim Smith too.
Oh, really?
So it's weird that I met 2 Jim Smiths.
Yeah.
Well, I had some dreams that things would come true. When I was in boot camp, I dreamed I graduated boot camp, who met me at the airport, the comment I had an ex-girlfriend come rub my hair. I had my older brother grab my duffel bag. My little brother grabbed my other bag, my clothing bag, and I rode home in my grandmother's Cadillac.
Okay.
I woke up by the drill instructor yelling, "Get up, get out the rack." I was like, oh Lord, it was a dream. So
Yeah.
when I did graduate boot camp, the same people were there at the airport. Same ex-girlfriend rubbed my head. My brother grabbed my duffel bag. My little brother grabbed my clothing bag. And my grandmother asked me if I wanted to ride in their Cadillac back home. I said, yes.
Wow.
So when I
No
woke up,
kidding.
my older brother, who I told you was a Marine a year ahead of me, opens the door and yells, "Get up, get out the rack," like a drill instructor. So while I was in Cherry
Wow.
Point, I had a dream that I was going to be best man in this guy's wedding.
Okay.
And I dreamed that he was going to have a son in October, a boy.
Okay.
So he tells me he's getting married. So I didn't tell him anything, but we ended up going to Philadelphia, where he was from. He's in a small town called Darby. But since when I was in Cherry Point, I couldn't go home. That was more than a 96, which is 4 days off, more than you can travel. I would travel with other people. I'd go to Virginia, went to Ohio, went to Pennsylvania, went to Florida. I would make trips wherever I could. That way I got to see the United States.
Yeah.
So on the trip going to Pennsylvania, he was supposed to be his wedding. Well, his cousin was going to be best man, but his cousin, they were field artillery, and somebody shot way far in the wrong direction. So the CO kept him out there until they could figure out who messed up. So his cousin wasn't going to make it home with him. So we were heading up there. So he asked me, "Can you be my best man?"
Whoa.
So I told him about the dream I had. And then I told him about him having a son in October. He got married in October. So 1 year later, he did have a son, James Smith, who I am the godfather to.
Wow.
And he's born October 24th of, was that 85? Maybe 86. I'm trying to remember. Okay. I could be wrong, but I did keep in contact with him for a little while, but eventually we lost track. But while I was there, I had this nice crushed velvet coat that I got from Korea. It had a dragon and sewn on the back, and it had fur around the collar. I mean, it was a beautiful jacket. Well, I bought one for me. I bought one for my friend Smitty, who was the cook. Because Smitty always hooked me up and gave me ham and lunch meat and cheese and apple pies and bread. So sometimes on weekends, I didn't have to go to the chow hall. I could just sit there and eat the free food, and I'd let him watch movies on my VCR because he had different hours than everybody else. So we took care of each other. So, but when I came back from Korea, Smitty had moved out, and I knew he went to New Orleans, but I couldn't track him down. So my friend goes, "Well, if you dreamed about me getting married and about my son, then you knew about me then, and you would have got me one of those jackets that you have." I walked into my locker, pulled the jacket out, and it said Smitty sewn on it, where mine said Messina. Actually, it said Mancini because that was my nickname. And I handed him the jacket saying Smitty. Now, understand, anybody named Smith went by Smitty. When he saw that, his chin dropped. He was like, "Oh, my Lord, you got me a jacket that you knew I liked all while you were in Korea, long before you even met me. How is that possible?"
Wow. That's
so it's worth
wild.
me losing the $10 just to prove something.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
So, but while I was there, I was, met a lot of friends. But I remember, like I said, I'd get so drunk up there, I'd call my friend Smitty to come pick me up.
Yeah.
He'd come get me at 2:30, 3 in the morning, bring me back, staggering drunk, can't even walk. I'd wake up at 5 in the morning and I'd go run.
Oof.
And he said, "Todd, how do you do that? You're so drunk that I had to pick you up. I'm so tired I can't get up to get out, and you're sober and you're running. How do you do that? I said, I just got used to doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's, you get used to something, you can, it becomes the norm.
It becomes the norm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got meritorious promoted to corporal and meritorious to sergeant, all because I didn't want to get caught being drunk at work. You work a lot harder when you don't want to be seen.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. So meritorious corporal and sergeant.
Yes.
Wow. That's incredible. Now,
So I ended up passing my brother up. I made corporal before he made corporal, and he was a year ahead of me.
no kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
And what was his MOS?
He was supply.
He was supply as well?
Yeah, he was reserve. I went active.
Got you. Okay.
So I originally I was going reserve, but I had like one girlfriend I was dating in high school. She dumped me, but
Hmm.
she told me she loved me, and I didn't tell it back to her. I don't
Hmm.
know. I didn't know what love was. Only
Yeah.
reason we were even dating is I was drunk one night when I met her. Next day, she came by and was talking to me and all this, and I'd ask people, it's like, "Who's that?" "That's the girl you met at the dance after the football game." I was like, "What are you talking about? I didn't meet no girl." So then she's the one that said, "Oh, well, people are talking about it. Shouldn't we be girlfriend, boyfriend?" I said, I guess so. I mean, I was a shy kid.
Yeah. Oh
I had
man.
no idea what to do. My mom kept me as a sheltered life.
Uh-huh.
I, she broke up with me in the summer, then started dating my best friend.
Oh
I
geez.
eventually became best man for their wedding.
Oh wow.
And another girl, her friend, I started to date or liked. And Darren came back from boot camp, and she flirted with him, said, "I'm going to
Uh-huh.
flirt with him and he won't know who I am." And next thing I know, them two are dating.
Oh Jesus.
So I decided, you know what? I'm going active. I'm just getting away from Louisiana.
Yeah.
I need a fresh start. And
Hmm.
it just became tough for me. I
Yeah.
just, it wasn't until later in my life that I actually got to the point where I could start talking to people. I was a
Yeah.
very shy kid. I kept to myself a lot.
Hmm.
And I
No
could talk
kidding.
to a girl unless I was attracted to her. Then I
Mm.
became very nervous.
Yeah.
I never had a line to feed a girl. Didn't really care about that.
Hmm. Wow. And well, I mean, it seems like you've gotten over your shyness a little bit.
Yeah, recruiting duty made me go talk to strangers.
That'll happen.
So, and that helped out. I had to talk to a lot of people to recruit, and I was on
Yeah.
recruiting duty for a long time. So you learn, you got to get past your shyness.
Yeah. 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 Very true. Very true.
So,
Now, did you
but
did you go to recruiting duty from Cherry Point? What happened there?
no, no. What happened next is my friend Jim
Hmm.
went to Hawaii. He said, "You got to
Nice.
come to Hawaii with us." I said, "Yes, I'm going to do that." So I put up my choice of duty stations. I put Marine Bear. I said, I put down Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii, which is where he was. Camp
Hmm.
Smith, Hawaii for the second choice. I
Yeah.
didn't want to put Marine Barracks because that was more discipline and all. And I just came back from Cherry Point, was more laid back. It was an air station.
Yeah.
So I said, I know, I'll put New Orleans. They didn't give it to me in Okinawa. They won't give it to me now.
Yeah.
My orders came, and guess what they said?
Had to have said New Orleans.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
again sitting there going, I don't want New Orleans. I don't want New Orleans. I want to go to Hawaii. So I said, I told admin I'm going to put off those orders until later on.
Hmm.
Now, understand, when I was in Cherry Point, I worked very, very hard.
Hmm.
People would leave and I would end up taking over their job.
Hmm.
When I left Cherry Point, 3 people had to replace me.
Oh wow.
So, but I did a lot of work. I remember my favorite was the A stock.
What is that?
Have you heard of the SR-71, the Blackbird?
Yeah.
Okay. I can talk now because the Blackbird's retired and all the stuff about that is now unclassified.
Right.
But we would fly to the Florida Keys, and they would videotape Cuba.
No kidding.
They had one team that developed the film, and they had 3 duty stations. And there was one team that viewed the film, and they had 3 duty stations. And then, of course, they had the A-stock supply parts. I had $6 million worth of supply parts for the vans that viewed the film.
Wow.
So I had just enough clearance that they would tell me a day or two before when I was going and a day when I was coming back.
No kidding. Wow.
So I remember I was supposed to be going to Wisconsin for cold weather training. When all of a sudden I'm going to the Florida Keys. So I come back with a suntan and everybody else is coming back with frostbite.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a bad deal.
The Florida Keys was great.
Yeah.
I went there. We didn't show up to work till about 12 o'clock.
No. Nice.
And we worked till 10 o'clock.
Okay.
So what we would do is we'd head out and go get something to eat at a different restaurant. We were given like $40 a day for per diem. Okay. We stayed on the base. So we had like cereal for breakfast, sandwiches for lunch, and then our dinner was a restaurant. So that way we ate at a different restaurant every night.
Yeah.
We'd go eat. We had a street called Duval Street, which is like Bourbon Street here in New Orleans.
Okay.
And we'd party it up. We'd have a good time. I remember going to Turtle Crawls, which was they had beers from around the world. You had to drink 28 different beers in one night to get the free t-shirt.
Holy cow. Okay.
So I got the free t-shirt.
Wow.
It was a thin white t-shirt. And of course it didn't last long in the washer, but I had it for that moment.
Yeah. You should have got it and framed it or something instead.
Yeah. But that's my drinking days. I try not to remember those days.
Yeah.
I've never told my daughter those days. I tell her how not to drink, how I learned my lesson, and she's been doing good by not doing that.
That's good.
I don't know. I was in a different phase at that time. I was very depressed, very lonely, and I used alcohol as a crutch.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
But I remember we were coming back on a cab, and I said, you know what? My friend goes, what? I said, I'm still thirsty. He said, are you kidding? I said, no. I said, I don't mean get different beers, but I could go get a few more Miller Lights. He says, well, I'll drop you off at Duval Street and you can walk back. And base was close enough to walk back. So I went and got 3 more beers, then walked back. Wow. We would head to work at 12 o'clock. No, actually, I didn't go to sleep. I would go back about 6, 7 in the morning, go to the beach there, get a tan. Then we'd walk and go into work at 12 o'clock.
Wow.
One of the guys had this coffee machine where he can grind beans. And there was beans from around the world. He would get different coffee every morning. And he'd grind them up and we'd get to try different coffee. But we would rest in that little air-conditioned van. The only time they needed the mechanics is if something broke. And the only time they needed me is if they needed parts.
Right.
There was only one time that I remember it was a major damage. We had a burnout, and it took out like 10 circuit cards. It was like almost $2 million worth of repairs.
Oh, my God.
So we were ripping things out, and I was pulling stuff out. See, I learned logistics from that trip because I had to put all my cabinets were locked. I had keys in my pocket. I had to build an Air Force pallet myself with the netting and had to ride in the back of the thing armed with my gear until it got double locked again.
Wow. Okay.
So when I would come back, I would call the base. I had 1 day notice, and I'd call whoever answers the phone. I'd tell them I'm coming back tomorrow at this time. And they'd have the warehouse available so that when I got there, the forklift would meet me at the airport, load my pallet. I'd be riding on the forklift with them
Yeah.
As we came back, and then the warehouse door would be open, we'd go through the warehouse door, through my cage. I'd lock it in my cage, understand each cabinet was locked. Then we'd lock the door to the warehouse, and it was secure.
Yeah.
But until that time, I was still working.
Mm-hmm.
So there was one time with the warehouse gunny, I called him, and he was the one that answered, and he forgot to have someone out there.
Oh no.
So we didn't have cell phones back then.
Yeah.
So I got into the office because I had keys to the office. I used to be the first one in, the last one out.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked through lunch. So I was pretty much, like I said, I got promoted a lot.
Yeah.
So because of that, I was a hard worker. I was there and I was making a phone call, and I was trying to call who I knew.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I couldn't get anybody. So I ended up calling the captain. And the captain said, "Who is it?" I said, "It was Gunny so-and-so." He says, "All right, you hold tight. I'll call you." 10 minutes later, he calls back. He said, "Look, I can't find the Gunny." He said, "But I'm sending Lance Corporal so-and-so. He's going to come watch the gear for you until we can get the Gunny to open up the warehouse." So I had keys to the office, but not to the warehouse.
Right.
It was it was connected to our building, but not. It's two different locks.
Right.
So I don't know what happened to the Gunny. I know he retired shortly after, but I'm not worried about that. I was just happy I was able to go home and get some rest.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I made the trip seem like it was worse, but it was actually one of the funnest times I've had in the Marine Corps. When I had somebody else taking over for him, I told him, I said, "Look, I'm going to tell you what the other sergeant told me. This is the worst duty station ever. The operation, they work you through tooth and nail, and it's very difficult. You're up late hours. You tell them this. Don't tell them that it's a fun and you enjoy it and you get to, have some of the best restaurants, the best seafood, the bluest water, and the clearest beaches. I don't know if you've been to the Florida Keys.
I have not.
You need to go. Snorkeling, scuba diving, fishing. Oh my God."
Wow.
Speaking of fishing, Okinawa, Japan was the first time I went deep sea fishing.
Oh, okay.
I remember we had Puentes. He was a muscle-bound guy that ate all that protein powder. That's what they used to get made people's gas bad. One time he farted and he cleared the warehouse. We moved out. And we had the captain was coming through the warehouse. "Why is everybody outside, not at their desk?" And then it hit him. And he goes, "Oh my Lord," he ran out. And Puentes is laughing.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it was so bad. It was so bad.
But you are 100% right. It affects it for sure.
Yes. So we were out fishing. Puentes was drinking his beer. All of a sudden he cusses. I look back and I see his beer floating off with a koozie. We're going fishing a little longer. Puentes cusses. I see his flip-flops are now floating in the water, sinking. Next, I hear him cussing again. I see his fishing pole going in the water, sinking. I said, "My God, he can't lose any more now." So every time we caught a fish, the Japanese would say, "Oh, the poison, don't touch, you can't have."
Yeah.
So we didn't get to keep any of the fish. And finally, the last thing, right when we were ready to pull our lines up, we caught a shark.
Oh, okay.
And that shark mixed 5 of our lines together. And I'm sure each one of them guys tells the same story, but it was my line that had the shark on it, not theirs.
Love it. Very nice. That's good.
So, but we had no fish because we had to cut the lines, and none of us got to keep anything we caught.
Oh.
So I didn't know if I enjoyed deep sea fishing or not.
I mean, if you don't get to keep any of them, that's no fun,
Well, we were drinking, so it really was just getting us out in the sun to work on our tan and drink.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Wow.
Now, my friend Jim that went to New Orleans, there was something special about him. He was Irish.
Okay.
And I told him, I said, "Let's go bike riding and let's go to Naha." We're talking like 40 miles. But we're in Marine Corps shape,
Yeah.
So we went through the town. We went to a hamburger place. Now, even though I was skinny, I could eat a lot of food. I used to eat around 6 meals a day, 1,000+ calories each meal, easy.
Wow.
Couldn't gain weight from it. So
Yeah.
we stopped by a little hamburger place, and the hamburgers looked like Crystal burgers.
Okay.
You ever had a Crystal burger?
I have. Yeah.
They're real small.
Right.
So we ordered. I said, give me a burger and some fries. I said 2 burgers and some fries. Well, we ate that, and I looked at Smitty. I said, man, I'm still hungry. He says, I am too. That's not enough. So we walked back up, and we said, give me 4 burgers and some fries. We came and ate that. I said, man, I'm still hungry. So we walked back up there again, and these girls are all smiling at us and pointing to us and saying stuff, and we ordered more food. We ate all that. I said, you hungry now? He says, no, I'm full. I said, I am too, but the girls are still talking about us. They're still pointing. Let's make their day. Let's go get some more. So we went and ate 2 more burgers and some more fries. And then we said, okay, that's enough. I think we put down, it was 9 or 10 each, and 5 or 6 fries. But it was Japanese size, which was not American size.
Right. Yeah. Way smaller portions over there.
Way smaller portions, right.
Yeah.
But I know these girls are probably still talking about us today.
You're probably. Oh, man. That's quite a bit to put down, though.
When I was in Korea, we were at Osan Air Base, and we constantly had to check in and check out every day. But we heard Yongsan, which is closer to Seoul, that we could stay constant there. So we caught a bus over there so we could check in and not have to worry about getting our luggage, because that was cutting into our drinking time.
Yeah.
I remember going to a bathroom at a bar there. And I looked, and I think it was a guy bathroom, saw a guy come out. So I go in. Understand, they don't have toilets. They have a hole in the ground, and they have a trench. So I'm peeing in the trench. This old lady comes in, squats over the hole, and then leaves.
Yeah.
I stop. I walk out. I look around. I was like, I don't see any sign of mine in the wrong bathroom. I went back to peeing again. Then the waitress comes in. So sorry. So I come back into the bar, and I was like, she said, I'm sorry I walked in on you. I said, am I in the wrong bathroom? She said, no. Both use same bathroom.
Oh, okay.
Well, while we were there, understand, when I was younger, I used to burn stuff. I used to love setting fires.
Yeah.
So I built a house with some matches there on the bar. I set it on fire.
Oh, jeez.
They started freaking out. They put it out. There was a burn mark on the thing. They wanted to throw me out, but I was too big. So they didn't want to throw me out, because this angry Marine who's drunk, they eventually got me to leave. And I sort of was not welcome back there.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, that'll do it, though.
Yeah. Well, when I got my orders to go to New Orleans, I decided I didn't want to go to New Orleans, so I was just going to hold out. Well, I was supposed to go out to the field at Cherry Point for like a day and then come back. Another guy was supposed to go for 2 weeks. Well, they had this master sergeant that came in that was Latino. And she took up the other Latino and decided he didn't need to go to the field for 2 weeks, that we'll send Messina. So they sent me to the field for 2 weeks. I was on mess duty. Now, my older brother had gotten an ingrown toenail. I'd gotten them too, because it was hereditary, I guess you'd say. I found out later on my boots were too tight. I had to get wide boots. So the big toe, the nail will curve into the skin and fan out and make it infected. Well, my older brother, when he got his toenail taken care of, they pulled the toenail. he grew back hard and brown, and I was like, oh no, I don't want that. So as my foot was hurting, I didn't want to, to have them pull the toenail.
Right.
So I was limping really bad. They had me take my boot off. They saw the blood. They're like, oh no, you got to go to medical. So I went to medical and they said, look, we've got to operate here in the field. You've got to do this or you're going to lose your toe. And I was like, oh no, I don't want you pulling my toenail. No, we only cut a sliver. I said, what do you mean? We cut a sliver. I said, where? They said, right here. Where? And they took the scalpel and they drew a line. I said, okay, it still looks like a toenail. That's good. Okay, well, sit back and we're going to operate. I said, no, I'm sitting up and watching. You better not cross that line. So understand, they gave me pain medicine really bad. They cut the nail. They pull out the bad stuff that's in your skin. They send a Q-tip on a stick with something to deaden the nail so it doesn't grow anymore. And they twist that all up in your toe, and then they wrap your toe up. Well, the guy gave me medicine, painkillers, but didn't bother telling me I can't drink with that.
Oh, no.
So, of course, I'm finished with work. I'm heading to the beer tent, dollar beer. I only had about 20 minutes until they close, so I'm trying to get as many beers as I can because I want my beer count. Walking back, I remember it was dark, and I kicked the tree. And I laughed. I said, oh, stupid tree. I get back to my cot. I go to sleep, and about 2 a.m, the pain medicine wears off. My toe is throbbing, and I'm screaming as I wake up. I went back to medical, and he checked my toe, rebandaged it, and it was bleeding, of course. And he says, didn't you know you're not supposed to drink alcohol on pain medicine? I said, no, I didn't know that. So he says, no more beer for you. So I ended up getting the accommodation because while on mess duty, I figure I got to keep working. So they had me getting drinks, the milk and the juice, and every time someone would run out, I'd go get more, and I'd limp back and put it in line, and I kept working.
Yeah.
So they said, no, look at that. He's working so hard when I could be sitting in a tent doing nothing. I didn't know that. I showed up to work and continued to work.
Yeah.
No one tell me you're on light duty. You're not supposed to do that.
You didn't
so
know
because of that, I got accommodation. So I was just always a hard worker.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
So when I get down to New Orleans, I'm walking through the PX, and when you hear somebody say your name, you picture who that person is.
Yeah.
And you turn to look to see if you can see that person. Well, I had a nickname in Okinawa of Mancini because I had a Mexican, when he'd get drunk, Corporal, he couldn't say Messina, he'd say Mancini. Okay? And there was a boxer called Boom Boom Mancini. He was a great boxer. His career ended when he fought this guy, Kim, who shouldn't have been in the ring, but Boom Boom hit him in the head and ended up killing him.
Okay.
Because of that, Boom Boom Mancini never fought again.
Wow.
So they called me Mancini. When I head to Cherry Point, they start calling me Mancini there.
Okay.
So when I went to New Orleans, I told them, I said, my name's Mancini. And the sergeant major says, no, I'm going to call you Boom Boom. So that became my name.
Okay.
So while I was walking through the mess hall, not the mess hall, but the PX, I hear this guy say, Mancini. I said, that sounds like my friend Jim Smith from Okinawa. I turned and looked. I didn't see him. So I turned back around. He called me again. I turned back and looked again. And here's a guy 100 pounds heavier with a full mustache and a full beard. Okay.
Wow.
That was my friend.
No kidding.
Forgot to tell you, my friend, when we went bike riding to Naha, he comes back and he's bedridden. I said, what is going on? Sunburn from his head to his toe. He said, whoa. I knew I was going to burn through the blue jeans. I said, why did you go bike riding with me then? He said, because you wanted to go. And you're my friend.
Oh,
That's
jeez.
that's what type of friends I got in the Marine Corps, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So I ended up seeing him, and we started having a good time in New Orleans. He ended up
Uh,
marrying a Navy girl that was stationed in New Orleans, and I enjoyed life there.
yeah. And so he had gotten out though. He was
He had gotten out, but
yeah,
he married a Navy girl, and she was still stationed there in New Orleans.
got you.
Little did I know, 3 years later, I'd be able to see him again.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
It's a small world in the Marine Corps.
It is. Yeah, absolutely.
So there, when I was down in New Orleans, we were having a good time.
Hmm.
I was at Bell Chase,
Yeah.
the training reserves,
Okay.
and I was doing supply, it was good, but they decided that the three sergeants we had there, and the captain, and the gunny, and and the staff sergeant all could be replaced by a brand new warrant officer and two corporals that came off the reserve.
Okay.
So some of us got sent to recruiting field, some got sent to drill instructor, some got sent to Japan. So I got
Wow.
sent to be a drill instructor.
Okay.
Now, I never thought about it, but in your career, you want to be a drill instructor, a recruiter, or embassy duty. That
Right.
helps move your careers,
Hmm.
or it can ruin your career, one of the two.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
So I ended up going to drill instructor school. In fact, my friend Celestine, he's like, well, I want to go to drill instructor school, and they're sending me to Japan. Why don't we switch? I was like, I don't want to go back to Japan again. I'd
Yeah.
rather go to California. Drill instructor duty is just 3 years, do the best I
Yeah.
can and go from there.
Right.
Well, I found out that you cannot have cheap running shoes from Walmart and go to drill instructor school.
Yeah.
So, because we ran 4 miles to get to the course that you were going to run 3 miles on and then run back. And of course, you
Yeah.
couldn't drink water because you carried water in your canteen, but that was for the recruits.
Right.
And since you're wearing a shirt called drill instructor school, you had to be yelling loud. You had to be keeping up, because all the recruits were seeing you.
That's right.
So we had to prove we were super Marines.
Yeah. Invincible.
Invincible, yeah. So that I ended up getting a shin splint. They put me on light duty for a week. And then I was coming off light duty on Thursday.
Uh-huh.
And Wednesday, we weren't running. No, wait, when what? I was coming off on Wednesday. We didn't run PFT on Thursday. So what I did is I decided to run with them on Tuesday
Okay.
because I had never failed a physical fitness test in my life. I've always been
Right.
first class. So I said, I want to make sure that my leg is healthy.
Hmm.
I got about half a mile and my leg was hurting really bad. They made me sit down. I got back to the doctor. He said, now it's a stress fracture. The bone is cracked all the way
Oh,
around.
wow. Okay.
So they said, look, I don't think your leg's going to heal. They said, quick enough, we're going to send you to recruiter school. And my drill instructor said, look, what you should do, Todd, is go back to your duty station, wait till
Uh-huh.
your leg heals up and come back to drill instructor school.
Hmm.
I remembered that I didn't want to go to drill instructor school to begin with. When I was
Yeah.
down in New Orleans, what they're supposed to do is whenever people volunteer for recruiter school or DI school or embassy duty, you go through an interview process
Right.
and they decide whether they're going to send you or not.
Hmm.
So I'm at the school for drill instructor school. Sergeant Major calls me in.
Uh-huh.
He says, well, Sergeant Messina, you didn't volunteer to come here. What do you think about all this? I said, well, Sergeant Major, if the Marine Corps needs me, then that's all I wanted to hear. That was my interview. I couldn't fail it if I tried.
Nice.
So I was there. So I figure, well, if they're sending me to recruiter school, I said, you know what? I walked into the recruiter's office. I'm sure at least one person a month walks into a recruiter office to want to be a recruiter.
Sure.
It
Yeah, that
couldn't be
sounds
that
good.
hard to join. Marine Corps is the greatest thing I've ever done. Everybody wants to do this.
Yeah.
So I went to recruiter school and they interviewed me and they said, "What do you think about this?" I said, "Well, can I go through the whole school without having to run and use my first physical fitness test, which was first class?" "Oh, yeah, no problem." "All
Okay.
right, then we'll take you in recruiter school." I said, "Well, all right, well, looks like I'll be a recruiter." "Well, no, you got to graduate the school." I said, "Oh, please. I haven't had a school I couldn't pass." Drill
Yeah.
instructor school, you got up at 5:30 in the morning, you marched to chow, you ate, you marched every place you went, you
Uh-huh.
stayed up late. I mean, we had something called teach backs where you had to
Yeah.
memorize drill movements. The
Hmm.
position of attention is a page long,
Yeah.
and we had to memorize it. So you had like 7 teach backs. You'd fan them out, you'd pull out one of them, you'd look at it, hand it back to them, and then you had to give that whole command out with your
Hmm.
person doing the position. So if it was like right shoulder arms while marching, you had to give it while your guy does it. And if he does it wrong, you have to say he has now escorted, uh, executed the position wrong. I will now have him do it correctly.
Yeah.
And if you got it
Wow.
right, you still had to memorize it all the way. So
Uh-huh.
I was doing all that. I was still graduating and doing well. So it wasn't until they went to the field that I actually was going to move to recruiter school. So I
Okay.
knew I could pass it. And it was funny. I was sitting in drill instructor school in the TV room reading a
Uh-huh.
book, and I hear somebody talking outside.
Hmm.
Now, understand these guys that want to go to drill instructor school, they would be outside yelling at a tree, practicing thrashing recruits.
Yeah.
So I looked outside the window and I see a guy on the phone. It's a recruit.
Okay.
I said, "What are you doing here?" "Sir, sorry, sir. I was talking to my mom." "Are you supposed to be talking to your mom?" "No, sir, no, sir." I says, "What are you supposed to be doing?" He says, "I am the company runner." I says, "Well, I said, do you know what building this is?" He says, "Sir, no, sir." I said, "This is drill instructor school. Do you know how many drill instructors they have in here that are looking for someone like you to thrash?" "Sir, no, sir." I said, "I suggest you start running right now." And he took off running like a bolt. He's lucky I was the only one there in that building at that time.
Yeah,
Because
no kidding.
oh my God, no telling what they would have done to him.
Poor
So
kid.
while I'm in recruiter school, it was simple. I didn't have to run. You showed up to breakfast if you wanted to. If not, you could sleep later. You showed up to class. It was a
Yeah.
joke. It was a joke. And I seem to uh, remember that edge dressing we said before?
Yeah.
I was doing edge dressing on my shoes, and the bottle fell over again.
Oh no.
This time it went over this picture of me and this girl that I was dating at her high school prom.
Okay.
It covered just her, not me. So I said, I need to call her and let her know that I damaged the picture.
Yeah.
Well, she was getting ready for a date. She was ready to break up with me, but she didn't know how to tell me because she didn't want to wait
Oh.
3 years while I was at drill instructor school.
Uh-huh.
I said, well, and this guy's trying to talk big stuff in the back. He was a Navy guy. And she used to
Uh-huh.
keep a little shrine of me with all my pictures on her windowsill. She was so
Yeah.
much in love with me. But she was young at the time, and I did not want to get involved with her that way and get myself in trouble.
Yeah.
So she was 17, and I was 21 or 22. A little
Okay.
brother convinced me at McDonald's. He says about this girl needed a date to her prom and doesn't have one. I
Hmm.
said, all right, look, if you don't have any other dates, I'll take you, but don't turn people down just so you'll have a date.
Mm.
And I heard she turned people down just because she wanted to go with me. No, but she was 17 and I was older, and I was like, her mom approved, but I was like, I'm not doing anything with this girl. I
Yeah.
am not getting myself done with statutory rape. I'm not you know. So I
Absolutely.
kept
Yeah.
myself distant. In fact, I think she tried to sleep with me before I left, but her brother wouldn't leave the house. And I'm glad. I
Yeah.
don't need that, you know?
Uh-huh.
So when this picture got covered up, she's ready for another date. And I could hear him talking stuff. I said, well, you let him know. He already knows what I look like. He sees my pictures. Let him know that, hey, I'm not going to be a drill instructor. I'm actually in recruiter school. I'm graduating in 2 weeks, and I'm heading to Baton Rouge as a recruiter. So you let him know that I'm coming, and you have a
Oh
nice day.
no.
And I hung up the phone. Needless to say, he broke up with her. He didn't want to be seen. He didn't want to see me, and I didn't bother calling her when I went home. But it
Yeah.
was just interesting how the picture of her just got covered up, but not me. It
Yeah.
just let me know that, hey, something was wrong.
Wow. It's almost like your dreams, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So, uh, let's see, I already told you that. So, I guess when I came back to Baton Rouge,
Uh-huh.
actually the colonel came down. It was interesting. He only interviewed three of us that made it, and he says, all three of y'all, I want y'all going to your hometown. I find recruiters work better in their own hometown. So
Okay.
understand, I joined the Marine Corps to get out of Louisiana. I
Mm-hmm.
spent 2 years in New Orleans. I ended up spending
Yeah.
4 years in Baton Rouge.
Oh
So
wow.
6 of my first 10 years in the
Mm-hmm.
state of Louisiana,
Wow.
all on special duty.
Yeah.
So much
Holy
for leaving
cow.
the state, right?
Yeah. Man. I
So
mean,
while I was,
that's gotta be interesting to be in your home state that much. You know,
yeah,
I don't know.
it had its good points and its bad point. Made me miss home, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas if I was away from it, I probably wouldn't have missed it as much.
Yeah. 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 True.
So I remember I told you we went to California one time.
Mm-hmm.
I was like 10 years old at the time.
Yeah.
Well, there was a mom and pop that my dad knew when he was in the Navy. He was in the Navy for 9 years,
Mm-hmm.
and he called a mom and pop. He got to stay there when he was on shore from the Navy ship. They
Okay.
were in Long Beach. Well, they didn't like that mom and dad didn't tell us that Darren was in boot camp in San Diego when he went. So they told them that I was there. So
Okay.
I wrote them while I was in boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was graduated December 29th. Mom and dad can't come. They're home for
Yeah.
Christmas, you know? They got two
Mm-hmm.
other sons they got to take care of.
Yeah.
So I asked, you know, mom and pop to come to see me graduate. They
Yeah.
came down.
Nice.
Now they brought their granddaughter who was 19. I turned
Okay.
18 in boot camp. I had no interest in the 18-year-old because the guy, Pop, actually he walked with an limp. What I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
is he was wounded in the Battle of Tarawa.
No kidding. Wow.
So he's describing the base there in San Diego to the pictures we saw in 1960. I'm listening
Hmm.
to his war stories as we walk around having a good time. I was like, oh
Mm-hmm.
my Lord, I can't believe this.
Wow.
So, but I kept in touch with them. So when I got to California, they moved to Vegas.
Okay.
So this other guy that was going to Dallas, he says, hey, see, I brought my car because I was going to be in drill instructor school. So I got everything I own in my car.
Mm-hmm.
I said, yeah, I can bring you back to Dallas. You can share the driving with me. So we
Mm-hmm.
headed from San Diego to Las Vegas first. And of course, we wanted to go out drinking and gambling and having a good time in Vegas.
Right.
We've never been there. So we stopped by mom and pop's house
Mm-hmm.
and she fed us dinner, told us where to go. We went out, had a good time. We came back. She woke us up in the morning, gave us breakfast, fixed us sandwiches for lunch for the road. She
Okay.
gave her address and phone number to my friend
Mm-hmm.
and said, look, if you're ever in Vegas again, call us. You got a place to stay. Don't think of us as mom and pop.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I said, that's what they used to do. They would take military people in and bless
Uh-huh.
them, no matter who they were.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, to have hearts like that.
Yeah. Yeah, very
So
true.
my mom and dad actually went to Vegas on their anniversary. It was like their 50th anniversary. They showed up
Hmm.
there, and they were more surprised that my mom and dad showed up there than their own kids showing up to their anniversary.
No
But as
kidding.
dad
Wow.
said, you're like family to me.
Hmm. Wow. That's incredible.
So it's funny how I said I was called Mancini when I was in boot camp. I mean,
Hmm.
when I was in the Marine Corps, my dad
Hmm.
was called Moose. And I asked
Okay.
him why, because basically Mussolini was the only Italian they knew, so they called him Moose for short.
Okay.
And that was his nickname. But I
Very
couldn't figure
nice.
out why Moose was on his little white sailor cap.
Yeah, that's funny.
So then like I said, I'm in Baton Rouge,
Hmm.
and recruiting duty. Oh my God. I'm going to tell you, it wasn't supposed to be 3 years. It's 36 individual tours because every month is a new tour.
That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah.
When I was trying to leave, they said, "Are you going to re-enlist or get out?" I said, "I'm going to get to my new duty station and then get remotivated and decide there." They said, "Well, we're extending you 4 months." In 4 months, they said, "What are you going to do? Re-enlist or get out?" I said, "I'm going to get to my new duty station. I'm going to get remotivated and decide there. We're extending you another 4 months." So in 4 more months, they said, "What are you going to do? Re-enlist or get out?" I said, "I'm getting the F out of here." So they wanted me to be an 8412, a career recruiter, and they just kept me there. I was just
Oh, I
like,
see. Yeah.
I said, I can't do this for the rest of my career. So I
Yeah.
got out.
It takes a special
And
person to be able to do that.
yeah, I ended up coming back into the reserve, but that was later.
Okay. So
But
you got out from Baton
I became a
Rouge.
civilian,
Okay.
started trying to find jobs,
Hmm.
uh, worked with a sewer company, cleaning out manholes,
Hmm.
uh, worked as a security guard, worked as a bartender. I was doing all these jobs, odd jobs.
Yeah.
I repossessed cars at one time.
Oh, wow.
Uh, yeah. Uh, I mean, I did a lot of different odd jobs.
Yeah.
I even tried to start my own business with a bar. Got the wrong
Hmm.
partner. He messed me over. We had our liquor license taken from us.
Oh,
And
no.
yeah, he's just a bad person.
Mm.
So I ended up losing a lot of my money. So
Hmm.
I had to do what I could. I even went to Seattle, Washington with an ex girlfriend,
Hmm.
got a job at Boeing, got an apartment there,
Okay.
was coming back home so I could get back out the Marine Corps because I had vacation time. So recruiting
Hmm.
duty, you didn't take much time off. So I had
Right.
45 days that I was still getting paid.
Hmm.
So in that 45 days, I was enjoying myself in Seattle, Washington.
Hmm.
I was paying her way and my way, staying at an apartment with her friend and her boyfriend,
Hmm.
while these two girls would go out and date guys. So
Really?
eventually, uh, that girl breaks up with her boyfriend Cam, and I'm there, and we're heading back. So Kathy asked me. She says, "Do you mind if Karen gets an apartment with us?" I'm like, "Well, 3 bedroom apartment's cheaper than a 2 bedroom apartment." And I said, "Okay." So me, Karen, and Kathy all were heading back to Baton Rouge so I
Hmm.
could get done with the Marine Corps, get retired, not
Hmm.
retired, but out after 10 years, and
Hmm.
head back to Seattle to my job.
Right.
And we're going to head down the coast, Highway 5, all the
Hmm.
way down the coast to San Diego, then take 10 and come on in.
Hmm.
This has taken multiple days, multiple days. Karen, I understand I got to be back for July 13th.
Hmm.
Karen is allergic to the Freon in the air conditioner. So you can't run the air conditioner.
Never even heard of such. Okay.
Me neither. So I would go to stop for gas. I want to stop for gas, eat, use the bathroom, hop back in the car.
Yeah.
Well, Kathy doesn't have to use the bathroom that time. Kathy and Karen both smoked. I wouldn't let them smoke in my car. They got another time we get on the road. Now can you stop so I can smoke? Now can you stop so I can use the bathroom? Now can you stop so we can eat? Now can you stop? So this trip was the worst trip I've ever had. The worst trip ever. I get back to Baton Rouge and I'm telling my dad, I don't want to go back to Seattle. I cannot
Yeah.
imagine the trip back to Seattle. He said, well, don't go. I said, well, I got to get them back there because I told him I'd bring them back. So I got to get them there. I checked plane tickets. I checked bus tickets. I checked, basically it was cheap enough for me to rent them a car and give them food money and let them go on their own.
Yeah.
And I
Wow.
got him out of here. I said, I'm done with them. Oh my God, I'm done with them. So now I had to find me a good job.
Uh-huh.
Well, I was working as a bartender at a topless bar,
Okay.
and I'm working multiple jobs because I'm deep in debt now.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I said, I need to work, 6 days a week there.
Mm-hmm.
So they let me bartend 6 days a week. And I quit the other jobs. Some of them
Mm-hmm.
jobs, I was only getting like 2 hours of sleep and having to get
Yeesh.
back up and working. I mean, it
Yeah.
was really killing me. It was very tough on me. I was
Mm-hmm.
$41,000 in debt
Yeah.
because I had to pay my partner's bills too. He ended up
Mm.
let's just say, originally when we got together, my dad had a business, got a trophy business back
Mm-hmm.
when I was 15, 16 years old. His partner was stealing from not the three they originally started with, but one of the guys, Mr. Vince, sold his share of the business to Mr. Mike. Mr. Mike
Mm-hmm.
started stealing from my dad and the other partner, and he was making trophies at his house and selling those and not letting the business make money. So dad
Mm.
had to file for bankruptcy to keep the guy from stealing.
Wow. Okay.
So I told my partner, I said, look, I'm not going to go in business with if you're going to steal from me. He said, well, no,
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm not going to steal from you. I said, look, I'm telling you, I'm not going to go through what my dad did. He said, oh, you don't have to
Mm-hmm.
worry about it. I'm not going to do this. I said, no, I know I'm not going to worry about you because if you steal from me, you mess me over, I'm going to kill you. And he laughed a little. I said, look me in my eyes. I'm serious. I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
So then while we were in the courthouse, he had another club that he was a manager to. So he knew
Okay.
the liquor people. He knew how to get the glasses. He knew how to get bands. I mean, so I
Yeah.
used him because I needed his knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it turned out it was mostly my money. And I was going to say, if we open the doors and he doesn't come out with money, it's going to be me only.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're in court because there was another club in that area that we were starting our bar in, and they didn't want them there because one guy went and peed on a pole, and another guy they left extra trash in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
But the judge says straight out, but these guys haven't done that yet. How come you didn't stop Mike's from opening up? Mike's Sports and Bar and Grill.
Mm-hmm.
He said, because no one gave us problems before. I said, well, you can't say that these guys are going to give you problems.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's Mike's Bar and Grill that's giving problems. So we were going to be open, but
Okay.
ABC board calls him into the room beforehand. That club he worked in, they had let a minor in.
Oh no.
ABC wanted to close him down. He said the owner brought the kid in. The owner said he did as the manager.
Mm.
But their case was if this guy's the manager tells him stuff, we got a case. If he doesn't come, we have no case
Mm-hmm.
to shut them down.
Right.
Well, he didn't show up to the courthouse. So
Oh no.
ABC pulled his liquor license.
Okay.
Then they tell me right when I was ready to say, here's your liquor license. They said, but we just pulled his liquor license, but because we pulled his, we're not going to let you have yours.
What?
And I asked him, what happened when they pulled you in the room? All they just wanted to talk to me about some stuff. No worries. If he would have told me they took the liquor license, I could have said he's a silent partner, say he's not
Mm-hmm.
part of it, and we would be open.
Yeah.
So I wasn't happy with him.
Wow.
When I questioned him later, he had said, when the court was done, he said, the guy threatened to kill me if I show up to the courthouse. I said, you could have given your case to them beforehand and not have to go to court and just have it written down. You didn't have to go. Okay. Or you could have told them that he threatened to kill you, and that's more cases against him.
Mm-hmm.
So later on, and see, I knew this, we were done, and I turned and looked at him, and he was trying to beg for mercy. And I looked at him, I said, if I was you, I would get out of this state. So within days, he was in Florida.
Wow.
Now, I knew he used to read tarot cards, and he used to tell fortunes, but he was mostly like, oh, this fortune tells you should leave your boyfriend and start dating me.
Oh, geez.
That's as far as I thought it went.
Yeah.
Well, he heads to Florida. He took a 15-year-old girl, and the guy's 41 years old, to Florida.
Okay. Wow.
He was doing devil worshiping, had an altar and all this stuff. They bring him back to Louisiana, and they throw him in jail.
Okay.
Now, I'm trying to get all these bills taken care of, and my lawyer even said, even if you get a letter from him in jail, you're still going to have to pay all his bills because you were partners with him.
Oh, my gosh.
So that left me deep in debt, and that's why I just started looking for jobs and working multiple jobs and doing whatever I could.
Mm-hmm.
I got back in the reserve. I couldn't get active.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to do active duty work to get back in the active reserve, but I was too high of a rank. I went back.
What rank were you when you got out?
I was a sergeant.
Sergeant, okay.
But then when I got in the reserve, then I made staff sergeant.
Got it, okay.
Because I was almost staff sergeant when I left.
Mm-hmm.
So I started working prior service recruiting where we put people in the reserve.
Mm-hmm.
I was putting in multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted me to be a prior service recruiter. They sent my package to the colonel in Dallas. And that colonel flew to Washington, D.C. with my package, says, I want Staff Sergeant Messina. He's doing Mission Plus. He's already a recruiter. We just have to make him a prior service recruiter. He's great. They said, no staff NCOs, and threw my package aside.
Wow.
Oh, Lord. I even went back to the ground recruiting to help out in Baton Rouge. I went back to ground recruiting in Mississippi, in Macomb, Mississippi, in Hammond, Louisiana, all trying to get back active. They said, look, we'll put you in the numbers for a year, and then we'll make you an NCOIC, non-commissioned officer, in charge of a station.
Yeah.
I started seeing all the politics again. I said, I can't do this. I'd have to do this for 10 more years. I can't do this.
Yeah.
So now, understand, when I was at that club, working that club, I was to the point where I was ready to leave it.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the girls wanted to go to church. So I was going to bring them to Catholic church. Understand, I wasn't going to Catholic church, but I was going to bring them to my church.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to save these girls from something I was caught up in.
Mm-hmm.
And when they come, they say, well, Jean is my babysitter, Cece's babysitter. We're going to go to Jean's church. Well, Jean graduated Redemptorist with me. Okay, we'll go to her church. We end up going to Bethany. That was the same church that Brother Larry was doing on the steps of the state capitol.
Oh, okay.
I went into this church, and I was freaking out because I'm used to Catholic. Sit, kneel, stand, be quiet.
Yeah.
This was like a Baptist church.
Uh-huh.
It's Christian, non-denominational, but they were singing, praising God, raising their hands, jumping for joy. And I was like, oh, Lord, if I had drove, I would be gone now.
Yeah.
So I left with the group when the group left.
Uh-huh.
I came over to a friend of mine's house, and her daughter was sick. So I was visiting with her to see how she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
She said, look, some people from the church are coming. We're going to pray over my daughter. Do you mind? And I said, well, no, I guess I'll stay, Well, these people were normal. We prayed, we talked. I said, everything went well. I said, I could get along with these people.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided I was going to go to the church on my own.
Yeah.
That way, if I feel bad, I can always leave.
Yeah.
So I went that Sunday, and the Lord called me that time, and I went to the altar and gave my life to God that time.
Okay.
And
Very
I
nice.
knew I couldn't go back to that club. I knew I
Mhm.
couldn't do anything else. So I was doing other jobs, and I was trying to make ends meet. I
Mhm.
think I was repossessing cars at the time. And it's hard when you're a Christian and you're taking people's automobiles.
Yeah.
But I had somebody from the church, and we started talking. They said, you repossess cars? I said, yes, I do. He says, I've been wanting to bless somebody, but I want to bless a Christian. That if you got somebody that you know is a Christian and you have to take their car, call
Mhm.
me and I will bless them. So a few days later, I'm at somebody's house and I'm ready to take her son's car.
Mhm.
And she's got a book she's given me to read about Jesus.
Hmm.
And God said,
Okay.
this is her.
Mhm.
So I got on the phone and I said, hold on one quick, ma'am. Before you give me the keys, I said, I got someone I want you to talk to. And I called him and I said, I got the lady. He said, you sure? I said, yes, I am sure. And he handed the phone to that lady. Not only did he pay for the 2 months that she was back, but she
Uh-huh.
paid it 3 months ahead.
Wow.
And this lady started crying and she couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And said, God works in mysterious ways.
Oh, yeah.
So I had a pastor at the church who was handling the young people,
Mhm.
Pastor Chris Hodges.
Mhm.
He knew that the kids from Brother Larry's kids were eventually going to have to take over the church. And
Right.
he was second in charge, which means he was never going to be first in charge.
Right.
So he was praying about it, and he could have gone to Colorado where they had a church already established. He would
Mhm.
get paid a quick salary. It's on a golf course, house there, everything. He'd live a good life.
Mhm.
Or going to Alabama by Birmingham and start a brand new church.
Mhm.
He prayed about it, and they were going to start a brand new church.
Okay.
So some people from the church were going to go there.
Mhm.
I was thinking in Baton Rouge, the only thing keeping me here is my family.
Mhm.
Uh, there was a guy that was doing window repair. He says, you could do that. I'll teach you the business. You can go there to Alabama and you could do it there in Alabama.
Hmm. Okay.
So, and I could help work with the church.
Mhm.
So I prayed really hard. I said, God, you got to show me a sign. I'm
Mhm.
struggling. I said, I need to get back in the Marine Corps where I got medical and dental benefits.
Mhm.
I'm reserved right now. I said, or give me, I tried to get hired at Exxon 4 years ago and it didn't happen. My little brother was at Exxon.
Okay.
I said, either get me hired at Exxon where I got medical and dental benefits, or I'm moving to Alabama.
Mhm.
Well, he showed me in a vision at night. Remember, I kept saying I had these
Yeah.
visions that I was
Mhm.
going to get hired at Exxon. So I told my brother, I'm going to get hired at Exxon. He said, well, I don't even know if your app is still open. No, it was on the bad file. He said, I pulled it back up to the front. You're back on the thing again. I said, okay, I'm going to get hired. And my mom, sweet and all, but she's just very negative. She used to
Mhm.
say, if it wasn't for bad luck, you'd have no luck at all. So I had a lot of bad luck because she would speak it into existence.
Yeah.
And I would believe it. So a
Right.
lot of bad things happened to me because I would believe it.
Uh-huh.
Well, I told her, I said, I'm getting hired at Exxon. She said, oh, well, they didn't call you. It's December and you can't start in January. It's too late. I said, Mom, well, maybe they're just going to start a class later.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, I got hired for April 16th.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So I did get my job at Exxon, and I knew
Mm-hmm.
God had sent me there.
Right.
So I ended up retiring from Exxon.
Okay.
But while I was there, I had a guy, I was moving up.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to become a supervisor
Mm-hmm.
because in the Marine Corps, that's what I did. I was in supervisor roles. I
Yeah.
was going up in rank. I went to more classes about how to be a leader than
Mm-hmm.
anybody at Exxon had ever been.
Right.
So I was doing that. Well, there was two guys over there that were trying to get promoted too.
Mm-hmm.
They would go to this guy's house and they would help build his house and help do his roof and all for free.
Wow.
Well, he decided not to promote them. Well, he was working with me because he was a Christian and I was a Christian, and he was doing
Uh-huh.
a Bible study, and I'd help him with the Bible study when we worked nights.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of them guys decided to set me up. I was talking to two guys. One was the operator, one was an employee. I'm trying not to use names.
Mm-hmm.
And they were both black. And this supervisor used to cook a lot. Now, the only
Mm-hmm.
thing bad about his cooking was he would cook with habaneros and jalapenos. I
Yeah.
have bad acid reflux.
Okay.
So I didn't want to take this acid, have to keep popping acid tums.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I loved his food. He was an excellent cook. Well, the operator was talking about, why are these ribs big and these ribs small?
Yeah.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
one was beef and one was pork.
Right.
One was a cow, one was a pig.
Yep.
Well, the other employee says, I don't know, maybe it's dog. And the operator's freaking out. And I said, look, when I was in Japan, I had dog. And I said, this looks similar. Just to mess with the operator. Because that's
Yeah.
what we did. You worked 12-hour shifts, you had fun. You joked
Yep.
around, you messed with people, you had to make the day. I mean, that was your second family. You
Yeah.
spend 12 hours a day, you spent 84 hours a week. That was your
Mm-hmm.
family.
Yeah.
And that's not counting overtime.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, one of the two guys that was trying to get promoted passed by. He went and
Mm-hmm.
told the supervisor that I said I had dog meat that and this food tasted just like it.
Oh, geez.
So I was talking to Keith, who was he was the president of the union,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, "That supervisor, something's wrong. Something's not acting right. He's not treating me the same way." So we started seeing stuff going on. Every Sunday, I would do an early relief. I'd have the guy come in early so I could go to church.
Mm-hmm.
No, on Saturday, because I'd go Saturday at 5:30. They had a
Okay.
Saturday service on the afternoon because I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't go Sunday if I'm working days. If
Right.
I'm working night, I would go early in the morning before I went to bed,
Mm-hmm.
or I'd get
Okay.
up early and then go to church. But I wanted to go to
Mm-hmm.
church. The supervisor would always take off Sunday so
Mm-hmm.
he could go to church.
Right.
I didn't have that much vacation, nor could I do that because I was a brand new employee. I didn't have that
Mm-hmm.
much. So I had this guy come in early, like 15, 20 minutes, and I'd make it up by coming in early.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the supervisor, told him, hey, I'm getting ready to go. Are you off on Sunday? He said, yeah. I said, I guess I'll see you Wednesday when we come back. Because when you work the
Mm-hmm.
weekend, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're off Monday, Tuesday. You come back on Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay.
So he leaves, calls the shift foreman and says, hey, Todd is leaving early. I didn't give him permission. Did you give him permission? And he said, no.
Oh,
So
man.
when I come back, they had fought, and actually the shift foreman wrote me up and the investigating officer was my supervisor.
What?
So he wrote me up as a DML, which is basically department leave. You go home for one day, and you're basically one foot out of the door of getting fired.
Wow.
So I had to. I fought an appeal with the union.
Mm-hmm.
Won my appeal, and it was reduced to a written page, and I had 1 year of probation.
Okay.
So he was planning on getting me.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I was being activated again for the military.
Right.
So I didn't say anything to him.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, I left. When I came back, my active duty time was over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And my 1 year probation was over.
Mm-hmm.
He thought I was still on probation for a year.
So
Yeah. He went crazy, from what I hear. He wanted me fired.
Yeah.
But I knew God gave me that job. Only God could replace my job and give me something better.
Mm-hmm.
No man could do that.
Right.
So I trusted God, continued to pray.
Mm-hmm.
I end up having to, before he could get me again, because he was trying to set me up with different things.
Mm-hmm.
And understand, I came in early. I stayed late.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do anything wrong. So you can't catch somebody that doesn't do anything wrong.
True. Yeah.
Okay. I worked nights. I would come in there all the time at nighttime to show him that I wasn't sleeping, to show
Mm-hmm.
him I was doing my rounds, doing my samples. I would do them at exact times. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do anything early. I didn't catch a sample early or do something that they could even question or come close to firing me.
Right.
But he still was trying to do it. So the second time I had to go to Iraq again, I left again. When I came back, they had me come back to the fire station instead of come back to wastewater.
Mm.
And then when I got finished with that, I heard that he was still trying to wait for me to come down the hill to wastewater so they could fire me. So I transferred to the docks.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed in OSD, Operating Services Department, but I was out of Zone 2,
Mm-hmm.
Zone 3, and now I was in Zone 2 or Zone 1. I can't remember.
Okay.
So now I was safe.
Mm-hmm.
And I qualified for several different jobs there.
Mm-hmm.
So he would say, look, the guy forgets his jobs after a while. That's why he can get qualified, but he forgets his job. So that's why he's not qualified down the hill.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing everything he can to try to say I was a bad employee.
Right.
So I even had a supervisor that he had 5 kids at Parkview Baptist, and I had my daughter at Parkview Baptist. So I would talk to him and he would talk to me. He finally got the guy to admit that I insulted his cooking. He said, well, you can't fire him because of that. So finally the guy retired. And when he retired, I ended up coming back to the fire station and coming back to wastewater and kept my job for 21 years till I finally retired.
Yeah.
But
wow.
I forgive the guy. I never thought bad about him. He had transferred me to another team so he could get another team supervisor to write a bad report about me.
Mm-hmm.
Even the day supervisor, the 3 of them were always in cahoots. So they fired 6 people while they were there.
Good grief.
I was the only one they didn't get. So Keith Cascio, who was the supervisor, the president of the union, he said,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Don, you never took vengeance on any of those people that took vengeance on you. All you did was
Mm-hmm.
pray for them. And he said all 3 of them had problems later on, whether
Yep.
health problems that one guy had, to the other guy's wife was having it, to one guy got fired. He said, you made me a stronger Christian. So he started going back to Catholic Church.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome.
So it was all about my faith and keeping faith. And
Mm-hmm.
I never had problems with my supervisor. I just wish he would focus on God and not focus on trying to hurt people. That's the devil working through him, and it wasn't him.
Yeah.
The more he tried to get with God, the more the devil tried to hang on to him.
Yeah. Well, hey, Todd, we're hitting about that 2-hour mark.
I see that, and I still got a lot of military time.
So I know. Let's schedule another time, and then we'll record another one if you don't mind.
That's no problem at all.
All right,
I enjoy
cool. Well,
speaking with you.
Yeah, let me do this outro real quick, and then I'll talk to you at the end of this.
Okay.
To all the listeners out there, if you're struggling, need help, anything like that, don't forget the VA has some great resources. You can always dial 988, press option 1. You can always text 838-255, or you can go to veteranscrisisline.net and click on that chat icon. Any of those options will put you in contact with somebody that can help you out. But remember, one veteran life loss is one too many. I care about you. I know Todd cares about you. The whole veteran community cares about you. So please reach out for help. And if you're out there, you're not struggling, reach out to the buddies you served with. Ask them how they're doing. If they need that helping hand, please give it to them. All right, Todd, thank you very much. We'll get you scheduled for another. To all the listeners out there, stay motivated. Change your sock.
Thanks for tuning in to the Lost Art Project Veterans Voices podcast. Our mission? Simple. Preserve history, one veteran story at a time. If you'd like to support this work, consider making a donation or sponsoring an episode. Every contribution helps us capture and share more stories for future generations. You can learn more and give at thelostart.podbean.com or by clicking the link in the episode's description. Stay motivated, change your socks, and remember, every story matters.